These may be kids' books, but we discuss dark themes and mature content. There may also be some explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
We had quite the contentious episode last week.
And, I don't know if we can ever come back together after that.
We did manage to finish the book, but I could tell we were furious with each other the entire time. And I just want to say that, Eddie, I forgive you for everything you did. Miranda, I'm still pretty pissed. I'm not going to lie.
Well, the whole RC car thing.
Oh my god!
I have come around. I see how that was Miranda's fault.
Yeah. Well, why would she just stand there?
Why would I just be barefoot in my own home at age 5?
Yes, the 5-year-old homeowner.
Okay, fair point.
Do you know what book I can't wait to talk about in this series? Hork-Bajir Chronicles.
Divorce?
Just because of that.
Yes, I know.
Can't wait.
I know. And then the second we do that, we can end this whole thing.
Yes.
Skritnot
Chronicles.
Do this, you guys. Skritnot Chronicles.
Well, Wiggly Boy.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like
so many more Chronicles books. Why aren't they out there?
The Ged Chronicles.
I know.
Ged Chronicles.
The Chapman Chronicles.
Valyrian
I
Chronicles.
kind of want to know about Chapman as a kid.
How did he become that person? How did Hedrick Chapman
I want to know about him when he was Chap Boy or Chap Teen.
Yes. But
then
it
how
is
he grew
the most
into a
common
Chapman.
name. At least in the 90s, it was the most common name in the United States. Chapman.
Hedrick Chapman?
Are you for real?
No, that's what they say. It's a very common name in this book.
I looked it up and couldn't find numbers on it. I spent over 10 minutes trying to find a source to say it was a common
does
name.
imply that it just says Chapman and not Hedrick
we'll
Chapman.
get there,
because there's no...
It's just Chapman.
Hedrick Chapman is out of the closet if his name is on that.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, man. You guys.
Book 16.
Guys, book 16
Book
took
16.
the numbers out of my ass.
The
Let's
warning.
talk about book 16. The warning.
Oh, that is what it's called. I was like, what is your warning for book 16? I was like,
No, we have to start a whole new book. This book introduces... First
The
of all,
internet?
most of the characters aren't in the book from previous books. There's no mention of Cassie. There's no mention of Marco. Jake comes in one scene in a bathrobe and makes
which is
himself
weird
some
because he's
coffee.
the narrator.
Yeah, it's super weird, but he's only in one scene in this book. It's very avant-garde.
Yeah, it's a little bit different to the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna split from the pack here. I think it picks up where the last Jake book vibes left off. I think.
Which was
I
what?
definitely think with what? The fear of death, the fear of the death of those around him, the fear of his decisions causing the deaths of those around him.
I meant which book? It was book 11, the Amazon.
book
yeah.
11. Yeah.
Not called the
The
Amazon.
one we ordered on Amazon.
The Forgotten?
Yeah.
The Forgotten, I think.
I've forgotten it if it were.
Yeah. How did we feel overall? Dark fucking book.
Dark book.
Why am
And
I
in
saying
fact-
that at this point? They've been dark for a few books.
This felt.
There were no
Grimdark.
cute squishy Lyrans in
Oh,
this
it was
one to make
squishy.
it all okay.
Oh, squishy. There was also no I love
what you're
my
talking
mom. And there was no gray area. Well, it was gray area because but it was gray area where it was clearly wrong, but we had to do it. And that's new. And I feel like that's pushing us
We're getting into the war crimes.
deeper and deeper.
We've seen these kids be ethically challenged before, but we've never quite seen them admit that they know they're doing something wrong. And by the end of the book, Jake is taking vague, he's vague tweeting about burning down people's houses. At the end of the book, it's
like Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
We'll never know. Know. I don't remember anyone
He
vague
says,
blogging
I burned
Donnie
down
Darko,
Patrick Swayze, Jake Gyllenhaal burns down Patrick Swayze's house. Sorry, it was
You know, I haven't seen
Spoiler.
Donnie Darko in a really, really long time.
Yeah, me either.
I really haven't seen it since we were teenagers.
I haven't either, but I just remember Jake Gyllenhaal saying, "I burned down that pervert's house," to his therapist.
I remember that I did question my allegiance to Sparkle Motion, or my commitment.
Yes.
To was it Sparkle Motion?
Yes.
All right, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sparkle motion sounds like something I should be doing all the time.
I know.
Sparkle motion sounds like designer cocaine. Like,
Yes, I do Sparkle Motion before I go to work, and it's what gives me a little pep in my step.
that's right. Being a girl is so much fun, but I need some cocaine. Do you have some?
Okay. So I have feelings if this is what AI wants to write about us, I don't know.
Wait, what is
We'll
that?
have to show it. It's Miranda's new favorite band, which is just an AI.
It
that
is
sings
Girly Girl
about-
Productions. You may know them from their hit meme songs Girly Secret and 10 Drunk Cigarettes that really blew up on TikTok. But every song is that insane, if not more so. One of my favorites is Girls Can Kill Too, which includes the line, "I'm a cold-blooded killer. I do it for the thrill. And when I'm not buying coke, I'm looking for someone to kill."
Oh my god.
It's a good line. It's a good
I like
line.
to stalk my victim's family as I drink my girly drink out of my Pink Stanley.
Okay.
All right. So back to Animorphs. Back to Animorphs.
It actually feels a little bit thematically appropriate for this book, so
It would have been, yeah, that's true. That's
Girl
true.
Boss.
Girl Boss. It's
that's
I don't know
more
who Girl Boss
book
is the
15.
hardest in this book.
yeah, book 15 or book 12 or
Book 12 was very girl bossy.
it was very Girl Boss.
Yes.
Book 12 kind of felt like a coked up friend adventure.
Frankly, if you guys
A
want to
song
take
by
a break
Girly Girl
from-
Productions. No,
after this book, we should just read book 12 again. I know I made this joke, but the further we get away, the more I want to be. All right, so let's get down to the things we have to do.
The three-sentence
we got some
summary?
homework to do.
Yeah.
Jesus, is your
more like
whole thing-
housekeeping than homework.
Is your whole thing that I'm about to say something and then you say it?
That's podcasting, Chris.
I think you're right. I think it is podcasting. I'm going to go be on another podcast and I'm going to be the one who gets to say the thing.
It's honestly impressive with the lag that Eddie
is,
manages to
'cause
get it
Eddie
out
That's how
every
slow
time.
Chris
saying
is.
it. I am flipping Eddie off with all four of my middle fingers.
That's right.
All right. So, Eddie, finish this sentence. Fuck you. All right. 3-sentence summaries. Whose turn is it to do
I'm
what?
3, I think.
Okay. I'll be 1.
Okay. I have no idea what the order was. Every time I'm like, I should go back and check. And then
I'm sure that I thought about this on the way home. I'm definitely 3. I remember which ones I had done recently. So I think it makes
That's
sense
great.
that Miranda's 2, Chris is 1. I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I didn't even read the book.
Good.
So,
I really
Yeah.
don't like doing 3. It's the hardest one, I think, weirdly enough.
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Okay. In this book, Jake gets eviscerated.
Inviscerated.
Making it
Eviscerated.
worse. I didn't know we were allowed
Tobias
to do
almost
that.
gets crushed by poop. They burn down someone's home, and
You know you're doing 3 and not 1,
yes,
right?
I'm just doing my first sentence,
Okay.
and
And then you'll save the other 2 for another book? What's going on?
and chase after a dirty diaper. The gang gets catfished, and Jake gets this much closer to finally cracking. Those are my 3 sentences.
Okay. I accept.
I guess it's my turn. Shit. In this book, we are introduced to hot new character B-Ball24. But wait, it's actually just Jake. We love the internet. There's a lot of parentheticals in here. We love the internet. Semicolon. Jake is using his online persona. Fuck. Jake is
We love
using
the
his
internet.
Let's
We
start
love the
over.
internet.
Let's start over.
No, keep going.
Jake is using
this
his
is a
online
perfect
persona.
rambling Reddit post right now. You're crushing it. Just don't use any punctuation. That's what I do.
Jake is using his online persona to gain information about a chat room where people seem to be talking about Yeerks. Using the information they gain from the ISP, they locate John Bob Fenestra, and track him to his home where they hope to find information about why he is so invested in the Yeerk fight. Is that 2 sentences? I don't know.
Miranda did an actual
was very
summary.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. I sort of left off the last bit of the book.
I just tried to smush in as much traumatic content as I could into 3 sentences.
like they did in the book.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like diaper gravy. This book
Is fucked.
Okay, here we go. Is fucked. An essay by Chris Sentence. All right. In this book, in which evil does not exist, every action and inaction falls into a murky gray area, from the gang deciding to... I can't think of an example at this time. Please check again later. But I will add to this first and one sole sentence of mine, Visser 3's sibling shows up.
Oh.
That's true. Yeah, neither of us mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my sentence. That was the worst sentence I've done this entire podcast. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't think any of us knocked it out of the park, if I'm being
Wait, speaking of which, I have something. We're just going to splice this into my first sentence of my 3-sentence summary.
Oh, thanks for saying that. Are you editing this?
Because you edit the podcast? Is that what happens?
We're gonna, your cannibalism. Just stick that in there.
Don't you wish
editors
you had
know.
said that when don't you wish you had said that when you could have gotten points for it, you know? But it's too late.
Points?
Points.
Yeah, points. The points don't matter, and the points matter so much. Okay, so the one thing I'll say before we get rolling here, because we're about to go into it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I love Visser 3's sibling
Yeah.
as a character.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best things that has happened ever.
Visser the Lesser.
Like, it is so fucked.
They're the lesser.
It is so fucked. His whole steez, his whole thing. The fact that
The
they don't kill
vibes
him.
are
the vibes,
rancid.
It's so rancid. It's so like, it's so Dracula coded. It's like giving Visser vampire.
And,
It's so wild.
And only if this... He's not a Visser. This Innis? Is he Innis?
I don't remember what
We're
spawn
getting
pool they are.
a bit ahead, but I guess... But Visser 3's brother... If only he could realize that basically Visser 3 feels the same way, except with Visser 1.
I know. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, who are you thinking with?
I was just like, Visser 3 also feels like he has to live up to the name, I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
or to like to their... But I take your point, too, that, like, when we look up to our, you know, older siblings, you know, and feel like we're not as good as them, there's always someone they feel that way about, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there wasn't for Chris. Chris, are you there?
I think Chris froze.
Chris, I think you froze.
Or they're just concentrating on sharing.
They could be
I don't know what
really,
happened.
really committed to
I
this
just got-
bit.
I
Such
just
a
got
better
booted.
freeze frame than we usually get on Zoom. So
There's a fucking fly in here. I need a fly swatter to be prepared for this big-ass fly that's flying around.
Hey, that's so fitting. You got a fly swatter. Yeah, that's Chekhov's fly swatter.
I know! This bitch getting swatted.
So wait. Can we, now that I've apologized, can we go back into the kayfabe where I hate both of you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you. All
I
right.
guess so. Miranda says it's okay.
All right, guys,
but-
it's you always start with Eddie, is it okay if I fucking hate your guts?
That's fine. Yeah.
Thanks. All right, did you actually just say, should we start with chapter 1? I'm quitting this podcast. I say we start.
Who
All
wrote
right,
so,
Tazi vibes
so
only, guys.
ample?
You guys are so awesome. Okay, I'm gonna start this timer. You guys
Who's
ready?
reading?
I
Who's
love
reading?
you
I
guys.
can read.
Let's
I'll do
do
it.
chapter 1. I just think you guys are the world. I think you're so good. Miranda, take it away in 3, 2, I love you, go.
Book 16, Chapter 1. Here we go. The warning, you say. Warning of what? And who's being warned? And who is issuing the warning? Yes. Jake is our narrator this time. We've had Animorphs books open with our lovable little lovable little animal morphers rescuing elephants from the circus, falling into crocodile habitats at the zoo. We've had Andalites fleeing from intergalactic warfare. Book 16 begins with Jake signing into his computer. Yes, Prince Jake, or should I say B-Ball 24, is about to check his email.
You've got mail.
In his inbox, Jake finds chainmail, conspiracy theories, marketing promotions, and uncharacteristically flirty email from Cassie that he deduces to actually be from Marco.
Catfish.
On a whim, Jake Googles the word Yeerk. The chapter ends with Jake ominously stating that the results of the search suggest that the Animorphs are not as alone as they thought.
Eddie, that was a really good chapter summary. It's a shame I hate your guts. That was really good.
I'm having fun with the fact that you two have to read whatever I put there. I mean, you don't have to, but...
Oh, no!
It was really fun
He's mad
to
with power. Jake,
it's like a 5-star... Oh,
so
go for it.
Jake does tell us his username is bball24. He says that's because he likes basketball, and 24 points is the most he's ever scored in a game. That's cool.
Incredible.
But he won't tell us his code word, which is a series of letters and numbers.
Here's what I want to know. If you pick the most you ever scored in a game and then you have a really good game immediately after it, like, what happens to your memory? It's like, yeah, B-Ball 28? It's like, do you just change your name?
You just hope it's not taken. But
incidentally, my first AIM name was named after my basketball team from this age time. In 3rd grade, I was in the little basketball league, and it was T-Wolf and some numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You liked
but we were
the
the Timberwolves. Yeah. So.
But did we ever say code word and not password?
I don't remember that.
No.
I don't.
No,
I have no memory of that.
Code word feels very to the side. Maybe it's like an AOL specific thing.
Maybe,
keyword,
although
I didn't have websites.
We have fake AOL in this book, but it does say "You've
fake
got
AOL.
Mail." He has the "You've got Mail," which is the classic AOL.
Yeah.
I thought this book was going to have more fun with the whole I can't tell you my last name, but I can tell you my username thing. Like this whole doubling mask.
And, I can't tell you my gamer handle.
Yeah. And then they just kind of drop it. But they do have fun with the whole privacy of the Animorphs with the internet and what you know and don't know about people. They definitely have fun with the internet in this book.
Yeah. And I definitely think it's a good message to send to kids to remember that who you're talking to may not be who you think you're talking to.
Though they hit that a little hard this book.
They do. It's a little...
It's not as hard as episode 1 of Degrassi The Next Generation, where Emma literally gets kidnapped by someone.
That is true.
They did spare us that.
Really? She does? Oh my God, I think I remember that.
She does.
Oh yeah, that episode is brutal. Toby hacks into her computer. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about that on a Degrassi podcast. I have to say, all the so way back in... I don't remember if we even talked about this in this iteration of this podcast, but at some point in the book 1 moment, I remember us talking about the mind speak being in the greater than less than signs and about how that's very HTML coded. And now we're finally here. It's she had taken the syntax of technology and applied it to an alien technology to make it seem futuristic, but now we're just talking about the thing that syntax
is based on.
I just think that's really cool. Really excited about it. And they talk about Jake's modem isn't that good.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a 56K modem, poor little guy.
Do you think?
And he uses the word baud, right? Does he say baud?
Baud?
But baud is the frequency at which the modem switches on and off. It's anyway, it doesn't matter. I just got excited about that stuff.
From the way that they talk about technology and computers here, and in these books in general, that one of the two of them knew more or a lot more about these things than the average person during that time. Does it suggest that, or does it suggest someone doing, the equivalent of Googling, information.
It
about
seems
these
pretty
things.
basic.
Yeah.
It seems like they had a computer, but also you need a computer to Google it.
Yeah, like,
I know. I
it
said the
seems really
equivalent.
basic.
I said the equivalent.
No. I just mean you need a computer to computer.
Yes.
Like to search. Oh, you meant Google equivalent like the library? You can't read about the computers at the library.
I guess that
I
is
think
what
you read about books at the library.
me not wanting to have to think about what people did before Google. Whatever it is that they did before Google existed. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, they went to the library.
I mean, that is. Do you remember there was a thing in
Yes,
class
library,
like where we
yeah.
used to have the book sales? They would take us and they would teach us about how a card catalog
Yes.
worked and about how to look stuff up in the
Yes,
Dewey Decimal System and shit. And so, like, I remember they like made a weird like challenge out of it. They were like, okay, write down a topic you want to
Yes,
look up, and and then we each wrote down a topic, and they're like, you have 5 minutes to go find a book on that
Yes.
topic or
Yeah.
whatever. Get that fly, get that Jake, get that Jake, swat that Jake. Swat that Jake!
Get him.
Miranda's swatting
That's a great
fly right
birthday
now, and
party
it's
game for
very, very.
whichever one of us has the Animorphs
Swat that
birthday
Jake!
party. Yeah.
Oh man, maybe I do an Animorphs birthday this year. Maybe I do a pin the nipples on the Andalite. Because we can't figure out where they are. We can't
the
figure out if
butthole.
they have nipples or not. Or the butthole, pin the butthole.
Oh my God.
I thought you guys would yes and me
So
on that.
anyway,
You
I'm
guys
sorry.
are-
It was something about pin and nipple that just like really sent me in a bad direction.
I'm not gonna lie, I was proud that nip. I should have done pin and nip because they're anagrams of one another. I should have done pin the nip on the.
It's actually
Yeah.
an amordinalap.
Oh, what is that? Are you shitting my
No.
ass? Oh, it's an anagram.
No,
It's
so
an anagram.
a palindrome is a word that is spelled the same forward and backwards, and an amordinalap is a word that, when spelled backwards, spells a different word.
That's every word spelled
That's
backwards.
not true. There are lots of words that spell backwards don't spell other
Oh,
words.
wait. I see what you're saying. Okay, I got it now. It took me
Can
a second.
we talk about the fact that
But an amordinalap makes what is a amordinalap backwards?
Palindrome.
Yeah. So
So an
it's
amordinalap is an
creating-
amordinalap of palindrome.
exactly, and it's creating an instance of that by inventing
if you don't
a
mind, I'd
definition
like
for a
to talk
non-word.
about the book
Yeah.
about
Oh my God!
Jesus, are you ladies done chattering? Anyway.
Jake is supposedly the first of this group of friends to Google the word Yeerk.
Yeah, it seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Marco would have done it.
Well, I don't know because now not everybody. Marco should have done it by now. You're right. I take it all back.
And
You're
also,
100% right.
isn't this a
rest my
huge
case.
problem for the Yeerks if this is what's, even if they're the ones doing it, even if they are the ones creating this webpage, I'm getting a little ahead of us. We could just use this to go in.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to the
but I'm
webpage.
just, it's the premise of the book, or at least the starting premise. And it seems like this information should not be this accessible to the public, right? Like,
Well, it has a reason to be. So, we find that there may be several reasons that it exists.
yes, yeah.
And one of them could even be true.
Yeah. Should we just use this to jump right into chapter 2?
Yeah, I think we should use this to jump into chapter 2.
The only thing I would say is that the little letters between Marco pretending to be Cassie and Jake for the first time really totally voicing that he likes Cassie and is like, yeah, I really like you too, Cassie. Like, that. I like you. But, he says, I have vowed not to get involved with any girl until my best friend, Marco, gets at least one girl to like him. And since we know that's never going to happen, I guess we'll never get together. Signed, Jake.
Yeah.
Because Marco's bi.
Yeah.
but
Marco does voice that he
Cute.
kind of likes Bossy Jake.
That's true.
He does like Bossy Jake. That's the thing. Like, that's how he inhabited. Here's what I don't buy. He didn't remember what color Jake's eyes were. And Marco knew.
He just had to
Right?
he had to throw in they are brown, right? To make sure that it didn't give away too much that he absolutely knows what color they are.
He
knows.
should have put a
He's
little
like-
winky face.
Okay,
like,
that's a
of
good
course
point.
I
That's a
totally
good
know what
point.
color your eyes are.
Yeah. If we're hitting like really funny things that are just from the text, I have one thing for this chapter. At some point, Jake, after explaining his name, it's right after he explains B-Ball 24, he goes like, I used to play basketball like blah, 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 but basketball isn't all that important to me anymore. And not just because I didn't make the team. It's just that I'm playing a much more intense game now. And all my brain did was fill in like war. Is the game war?
It was
You're
war.
just in a
that,
war
you know, that's a
now?
random
Like-
chance card game. I don't know that it's that much more intense.
Are we
Chapter
ready?
2.
Chapter 2? I'll read this one. Unless you think I should.
Go ahead.
All right. Am I going to get mad about this one? The gang gathers at Marco's house to investigate the website that Jake has discovered. The site claims to be devoted to informing the world of the Yeerk invasion, or should we say, warning of the Yeerk invasion. 4 pages feature on the site facts about Yeerks, suspend human Yeerks, games, types of Yeerks, and chats about Yeerks, and Yeerk games.
Suspected human.
Could it be that
Yeerks.
they're
Just-
really...
Not suspended.
They're in so much trouble. They're suspended. They're not allowed to go out to recess. All right. Could it be that there really is a larger resistance fighting the Yeerk invasion? Are the Animorphs not as alone as they believe themselves to be? Is this a trap or a strangely accurate conspiracy theory, a teaspoon of truth lost in a handful of conjecture?
Beautiful imagery.
I don't know why handful and teaspoon don't go together because you don't use hands to bake, but I'll let it go.
I was deeply
Anyway, the
coveted when
point
I
is-
wrote this anyway. So.
You were, yeah, you're right. You're right. You were reading your book to me in your memory. I got it. The answer to that isn't clear. Yes, there is a strikingly accurate drawing of a Hork-Bajir on the website, but it's featured alongside drawings that look straight out of Star Yeerk Trek. Yes, Principals Chapman, name...
Oh my god.
Damn it, you guys. Yes, Principal Chapman's name appears to be listed as a known controller, but so does Snoop Dogg. I'm just reliving how crazy this book is, dude.
Quite a book.
They decide to explore the site's chat room. Maybe if they talk to a few people visiting this site, they'll have a better idea of what's going on here. Just to be safe, Axe does some quick computer magic to make Marco's computer hack-proof. And then, for the first time in the series, the gang enters the chat. F's in
The gang
chat
has
for
entered
Marco.
the chat.
The gang has entered the chat.
Can I get some 07s in the chat for the gang?
This website. I mean, I can imagine exactly what this website looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that quick? I want to make a fan website that you can go to that just is this website and then has a chat room where you can click on the chat room, pick a username, and then it just plays back the chat from this
Ooh.
book.
I don't remember.
I think that would be a
That'd be
really
cute.
cool, like, immersive art
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, I like that idea. And it has to have a counter at the bottom.
Yeah, for how many people went
visitors?
to it.
Yeah.
I don't remember only being able to write so much of your message at a time, like happens
That
No, I think that that's false. Miranda?
I think there may have been a time when you were only allowed to send a certain number of characters at once, a la early Twitter.
Oh my god. Okay, so IRC messages are always lines of characters terminated with a thing. They shall not exceed 512 characters in length. So yeah, Miranda's right. 512 though? How long is 512?
That's pretty
characters?
long.
Not AIM chats though. AIM chat rooms.
No,
were
no,
not
no, no.
like that.
This is much
I'll
earlier
check.
than that.
Ah, okay.
Because this isn't direct messaging. This is
Oh, no, AIM chat message had a limit of 1,024 characters.
so they doubled it by then.
Yeah. But that's still pretty long. You could write like a little story, like, cause Twitter was 120 initially, right?
Yeah.
Like, Twitter.
But also, like, I don't know. There's half width and full width characters and like shit like that. So I don't know how that's counting that.
Oh, so I do know about this. It's based on how it's serialized in data. So like, it's not about the literal width. It's about like it's, and like a period would count as a full character, as would any letter. Right?
Yeah, no, I'm just the only reason I bring this up is because I'm reading Steins Gate right now, and they have a time machine that they can use to send messages to the past, but they can't exceed 36 bytes, which in their case is 36 English letters, like Roman letters, or 18 Japanese letters.
Yeah, that's right. Because Unicode actually, you're totally right. So if we're talking like English ASCII, that's like 1 byte per character. 1 byte per character. And then with Unicode, which has emojis, you can like stack bytes and go up to variable length. So you're totally right. I apologize. Yeah, you're totally right.
Anyway,
right,
so
that was our little
there was
CS lesson.
Also, you probably could have set a chat room to have any limit that you wanted. Whoever made the chat room could have made it so that you could only post every 30 seconds and they could only be 36 characters long. Like
that's true. Yeah, depending on what. So yeah, there is limits. But I will say this: none of those messages that got cut off look to be as long as tweets, which tweets are much shorter. Like so, it's like we're talking tweet level cutoff. It's definitely. But I like it. It's funny to see people like chiming in and like getting also, their jokes in.
There's a lot of weird stuff that we can continue to discuss as it comes up that I'm not sure that they really know. I don't know if it's that I'm not understanding what they're planning to do in terms of things, or like if it worked that differently back then, or if the person doesn't know how this works. But chapter 2 wise, we do get Axe being disturbingly attractive.
Yes, Jake finding Axe.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
May actually be more problematic than the Rachel stuff, if you really think about it, because it's made up of not only Rachel's DNA, but also his DNA. So half of the DNA... No,
I kind of get that, though.
Half of the DNA
it's good to be feeling yourself.
That he used to make himself is related to Jake.
Half? I thought he did all 4 of them.
He did do all 4 of them, but both Jake and Rachel are related to Jake.
Yeah. Biology.
So like, I got it. And Rachel is only his cousin, not a sibling, so it's a little.
So wouldn't that be a quarter?
It's like a quarter. It's like a third. It's like a half. Like I think it works out to about a third.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I love the problems that Axe in his human morph causes for this group of friends, though. I think...
Yeah, dude, he has everybody questioning.
Yeah.
And also, Rachel is learning to just go with the bit, apparently. She's just like, although he's learning about sarcasm, but like, she's doing it to teach him, I think. It's cute. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found that kind of brutal, and I think Rachel should be careful. She like basically mocks Axe's speech impediment, which is not the best look for Rachel.
But she has no room to talk because what does she do? She laughs in a non-sarcastic way, shaking her head, causing her volumes of blonde hair to shake silkily. I'm so confused by this description.
Yeah, this is a little bit breasting boobily for me.
You read my mind.
Shaking silkily doesn't make a lot of sense. And also the volumes of blonde hair. I think Michael Grant has to have written this one. I don't know that for sure. It's giving like, I read the word volumizing on a shampoo bottle, and I don't know what it means. So, Rachel probably uses it, so she has volumes of hair.
I think that this person believes they're describing what happens in a shampoo commercial. I think that they're just doing a very unnatural...
Because everything Rachel does is supposed to sort of like look like the TV version of things. So it's like, she laughs in a very like, ha ha.
Yeah.
Is it Ghost to hit the chapter or the paragraph?
Why don't we just read it and we let it speak for itself?
And we'll just leave it at that. We'll let it speak for itself.
Should we popcorn this
because it is
tiny
just
paragraph?
Yeah, let's popcorn it.
Rachel is my cousin. Popcorn Chris.
So, I, Popcorn Miranda.
Don't think of her as Popcorn Eddy.
Beautiful. But, Popcorn Miranda.
Every other person, Popcorn Chris.
Does. She's not just beautiful. She's one of those people who always seems Popcorn Eddy.
To have a special, Popcorn Chris.
Spotlight, Popcorn Eddy.
On them, where, Popcorn Miranda.
Ever they go. Popcorn Chris.
Yeah.
We just picked a paragraph at random from the whole book. And
from the whole book. And it was that one. But I will say, I'm not going to harp on it, but it is like, I am just so curious.
Why they felt the need to keep putting it in the book.
Yeah, like why it's in book 1, why it's in, like, and I'm not so curious like I would ever ask. Actually, I might ask, You know what? If KA came on the show 3 times, on the 3rd time I would ask.
I somewhat suspect that, like, they just had him describe her as pretty in, like, the first book, because it's not actually that weird to say that someone is pretty. And Scholastic went, we need you to make it clear that he's not attracted to his cousin, because we're going to be selling this all over the country, and there are places that we need
just a little bit too much.
right. Like when Eddy goes to do his TED Talk on the history of Scholastic Part 2, and he finds out that it was like a whole covet of attracted cousins.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, it turns out that they had one editor who was really excited by it, and so all the other editors got together and had an intervention. It was like, we're not going to let anybody say anybody's cousins are beautiful anymore. We just have to stop. For Frank's safety, we have to
stop. The thing about my cousin is that everyone wants to fuck them but me. We don't need to include that.
I mean, I agree that it's not Jake's vibe. I'm not blaming Jake for this.
No,
I'm blaming editing and books for this.
Yes,
and that's fine. Yeah.
All right.
And not even KA. Who knows why?
So
it happened,
again,
but
in Suspected Human Yeerks, we get a great list, and then just Chapman. No first name, because they're like, Chapman's a common name. It could be anyone. And I'm like, but if it's his name is Hedrick Chapman. They will surely, but no, just Chapman. But they seem to be, well, some of them are certain it's their principal, and others are saying it's regular name. Disabling cookies gets brought up, and Cassie loses her mind about stupid tech bro speak.
Which I don't like that for Cassie's character. I feel like that was forced onto her. I feel like if I was writing this book, she'd just be like, doing a different thing, but like she just really lets off. She's tired of hearing about computer talk. She's over it.
We get a Scrit Nah drop, which is just always good. Always love a Scrit Nah drop.
Love Scrit Nah. And we get a little like glimpse at Axe knowing about Alfangor's past with the Scrit Nah.
Yeah, but just a little.
Yeah. Alfangor came home with a Scrit Nah his first year at college to Thanksgiving.
Very progressive.
Thanksgiving. So, yeah, very.
Which stage, Scrit or Nah?
Just carrying around the cocoon until it hatches. I also just want to hit that Marco is a little sad that he doesn't get to use his good at computer skills because Axe is just better than him. Yeah. And I feel bad for Marco.
Are taking all of our jobs. The ETs and the AI.
Marco says the Spice Girls suck, and you know he's doing like stop right now whenever he goes home. He's like knows all of the
he knows. No. It would be like me pretending not to like Carly Rae Jepsen.
Right.
It would be like, yeah, her songs are dumb, but she's not Yeerked. Like, it's like, obviously Chris loves Carly Rae Jepsen.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move on to chapter 3? We're going into the chat room.
Yeah. Let's do it. Into the chap
Into the chap room?
Into the chap Enter the chap room? The chapped room, like our chapped man?
Chapter 3.
Eddie's so fucking mad.
No, Yuka's whimpering off to the side. I'm trying to find Chapter 3, our first chat room scene. We follow the chat along with the Animorphs, reading the haphazard conversation occurring between 9 or so participants.
The chap hazard conversation?
A child worries that his father may be infested and wonders if anyone can help him.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Yeerk Killer 9 claims to have escaped the Yeerks, having once been a controller. Someone asks if anyone has heard of a shady organization known as the Sharing, and another says that the Sharing? Totally cool organization, not at all shady. It's basically the Boy Scouts. Tobias and Rachel think the website is a scam, a way for the Yeerks to lure people in. Jake, Cassie, and Marco aren't so sure, though. Even if this started as a way of tracking down humans who were onto the Yeerks, maybe it got out of hand and now there are innocent people crying for help. The little boy worried that his father has been infested. What if he really is out there, all alone? Can they really take that risk? Jake asks if Axe can figure out who these people are. Maybe if they can hack into their screen name files, they could save someone. Or find a new ally. Axe tries, but he says that human technology is too primitive. Well, you can fuck right off, Axe. If they can't access information from Marco's computer, Marco suggests that they go straight to the source. Why not just break into the central office of Web Access America? And basically we just read the chat logs.
Yeah, I want to point out that Yeerked, that's YRKH8ER, only says 3 things that are not kill all Yeerks. And it's to jump in and defend the sharing, and to tell a little boy who's worried his dad is Yeerked to definitely talk to him, tell him what you're worried about.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, that's so internet. I'm not going to lie though, when I know we have to talk about how bad the internet is in this episode, but I also have to hit, he was a Yeerkater boy. She said see you later, boy.
He wasn't Yeerked enough for her.
Yeah. Now he's a Visser star slamming on his Jahar. Jahar?
The Jahar was the ship, was Aloran's wife.
Yes!
Aloran's wife.
Yes!
Do you think he got to keep the Jahar with the Yeerking? Now that he's Yeerk, do you think he got to keep the Jahar?
Isn't that the blade ship, you don't think? Oh,
Well,
man. I don't know.
he goes around in the blade ship, but do you think he has the Jahar? Just you know, for old time's sake.
Like parked in a garage.
Yeah.
Who designed the
He's
blade
like, I'll
ship?
repair it one day. That's a great question. What pointy
Yeerks of
squishy
some
little
sort.
boy?
Because didn't Visser 1 also have a blade ship, or is it just Visser 3?
Good question.
I'm not a very
you
good
know
fan.
what? Like in my memory, I'm remembering how like what's his nuts? Darth Vader has like a slightly different attacky boy.
Yeah. His
Has
TIE
the
fighter looks a
sides.
little different.
His TIE fighter looks a little different.
Didn't the blade ship just show up out of nowhere in Andalite Chronicles? Didn't Visser 3 acquire the blade ship in the time of that?
You know,
book?
I really can't remember. It
think
was so
so.
long ago.
It was a
We
year
read
ago.
the
The
book
blade ship
ago.
is a Visser's personal fighter and spacecraft. So
all
it's
Vissers have
any
them?
Vissers, yeah.
Okay, so it's not special. We shouldn't be impressed.
No.
It's not like his wife or anything.
I'm still impressed, though.
You should be impressed. It's
Users,
it's like the
Esplin
BMW.
9466 and Tom's Yeerk.
What?
What?
I don't know. I'm just liking how they live. I like that apparently, because we learned the name of the Yeerk that was in Tom that wound up in
Rush.
Jake, but it died. So I guess we
Right.
never learned the name of the Yeerk that is currently inside Tom. So his Seropedia, it's just Tom's Yeerk.
Why does Charles Sofor sound familiar to me? That name comes.
It's got to be something, right? Like it's got to be a reference.
I feel
they
like
talk about
Sofor
how,
came up in the books before.
Well, there's Sophons from Three Body Problem. You thinking about that? I don't think. Or there's what's the thing when they're fighting when he's being trained? What's that guy's name? Sofor? The person who trains Elfangor in battle in the Andalite Chronicles, Book 1. The blade arched over my head towards Sofor's face, and I thought, hey, maybe so far, it's Sofor, maybe old Sofor. Yeah.
Wait, so
his
Eddie's
trainer
right?
is Sofor.
Eddie's right. So
Eddie's
Sofor
right.
is
Sofor is his trainer in the Andalite
that's a
Chronicles.
callback to the
I was
Andalite
also-
Chronicles.
I remember.
Whoa!
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good job, everybody.
So that's why. Okay. I thought maybe that character came up.
And I even found the instance of it where it's spelled so far.
Well, yeah, because he did it. He makes doesn't he make a joke or something? It could just be wrong.
Like a joke.
I don't know that hacking your ISP would work. I don't know that going to your ISP would get you this information. I'm like, why is your username in this chat room tied to what you use to log into the internet? Is that just how that worked back then? And I just don't know that. I don't know.
I actually like, even in my knowledge now, I'm not entirely sure because ISPs are kind of like, they do sit in between every accessing of a server. So like they could have that information or modify that information. That said, I don't know.
But I would think they would just be doing what IP addresses went to what sites, not what usernames they used.
Yeah, maybe the idea is like, I don't know, I can be charitable. And if we're switching roles and you're the skeptic and I'm the charitable one who comes up with the plan, I could see like maybe if you're in like an AOL ecosystem, maybe everything you do is tied to your username or something like that. I don't really know how it works.
Because I would think you'd have to get whoever hosts the site's data.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think it's kind of Star Trek technobabble.
Yeah.
Is essentially what I'm saying. Yeah. But no, I think you're spot on that they're like extrapolating beyond, like none of them went to system admin school. None of them are our friend L, who could tell us exactly if this was possible. Like, you know.
And other than that, there's a little boy.
Yeah.
Is that what you were going to say, Eddie?
Yeah, very sad. Little boy who's definitely echoing Marco's
Sad about his
situation.
dad.
Right?
Yeah. And Jake's a little bit. He thinks that his dad might be infested by a Yeerk. Yeah, they deduce that they think that Yeerkator is probably actually a controller who's in here monitoring how many people know about the situation. 1 or 2, maybe 3 people seem genuinely to know things about the Yeerks and be interested in it. And then there's a couple people who seem to just be sort of like mishmashing a bunch of conspiracies together and pretending they think
It's like
putting
Occupy.
putting the Yeerks on top. They're occupying the conspiracy theory.
Exactly.
Gump 8293 knows that there's a rank in the Yeerk army called a Visher or a Vister, and I'm just so glad that it's not Vister 3 and Vister 1.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, Mr. Vister. It's a pure rhyme. It's a nice.
Yeah, that's
kind of
true.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I have some early piano musings on One Day Younger. It hit me earlier today. I'll send.
Brandon swinging a fly swatter around.
Yeah.
You're unhinged right now.
Should we jump to chapter 4?
It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's jump to chapter 4.
I want that fly
I
to
think
die.
it's back around to
it's me.
Miranda.
The first problem, chapter 4. The first problem with breaking into the Web Access America office is that it's not in the Animorphs town, or even the next town over. The office is hundreds of miles away. Even if they morphed into birds, the kids couldn't make it in a single 2-hour morph period. And if they paused to take morph breaks, they'd never make it back in a single day.
Oh my god, morph breaks.
If they can't fly themselves, they'll just have to take a plane. The plane ride itself is only an hour and a half, so they decide that they should be able to morph into flies and still exit the plane in time to demorph. The gang will have to morph in the airport bathrooms. Then, once everyone is in fly morph, they'll have to locate the plane to make sure that they all can find locate the plane. To make sure that they all can find the right terminal, they stuff a dirty baby diaper into a trash can next to the correct gate. Easy, right? That one doesn't fly for me. Did they get a sniff of they don't...
Nice pun.
They don't...
Nice pun.
Okay, yeah. They don't, get a sniff of the baby poop specifically as flies.
It does not make any sense that flies... Oh my god, check out that portmanteau that just happened. That flies are bloodhound level good at sussing out poop. And also we have to it would be the Floodhound gang, or would it be the fly? I don't know. There's something there. The poop hound flood. Anyway.
It's also just so gross. It's
frankly, I'm not going to be able to... I need to let you talk. I've been cutting you off all episode. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I haven't noticed that. But yeah, especially Marco saying baby gravy, diaper gravy.
Baby gravy? let's not say that.
Into diaper gravy. It was baby poop into diaper gravy.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Can you just talk about what's so upsetting about that? Can you muse on that, Ed?
If you could use the word disgorging as this chapter so beautifully does, that would be...
Please use one of the vocab words in your description.
Yeah, for some reason the planes are disgorging passengers, which just seems so unnecessary.
It doesn't seem like the right
until you
word
find out
for
that
it.
Jake himself will be disgorging his own innards later in the book. So
as we all do.
Yeah.
As we all hope to do.
But this is basically...
I'm hoping to get these ends out.
These 2 chapters, this one and the next one, basically form the classic heist scenario where they have to introduce the plan and then execute the plan. And basically they're just at the airport hanging out, talking about what their plan is going to be.
Yes.
Who would like to read? So when they settle on finding the baby diaper to use to locate the thing, who would like to read the dialogue between the husband, wife who have the baby with me?
I'll be the mother, yeah?
Oh, okay.
You want to be the mother?
Okay,
I'll be the
here we
father.
go. All right, sounds good. All right. Then there was a mother and father with their baby. The baby was squalling and squirming in its mother's arms. They stopped just a few feet away. He needs to be changed, the mother said.
Whose turn is it?
The mother handed the baby to him and he groaned.
Please just let it be number 1.
I don't think so. I think you're getting a full load.
So disgusting.
It's so gross.
What a
It's,
bizarre
like,
thing
so
to say.
gross. It's so childish. Like, it is so childish. Like, I imagine they were giggling as they wrote that.
The baby just, filled that
baby.
diaper up.
Filled it all right up to the
God.
brim.
Absolutely vile huggies, Jake says. Wrapped in a couple of paper towels. They had to wrap it in paper towels. Ugh.
Yeah, because Jake
you don't
goes
wanna
and
touch
gets it and
like,
puts
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but I'm
it's
just
awful.
imagining
It's so
seeping,
bad. It really is like, if I have to be honest, KA could have just said they found the plane without any troubles, and I would have been fucking fine with it. But, like, instead, we have this as a foreshadow of what is to come. Like, I don't want to rush through it. If you guys want to sit here and talk about baby shit.
No,
like, we
I'm
can
pretty
do that,
much
but,
done.
like, this might be my least contributing next chapter ever.
We did.
Like,
The only thing is that we had like a little Marco makes a comment that makes it sound like he's like skeptical they can go back to being normal kids, which feels inconsistent.
Oh,
with,
thank you for remembering that.
with
yeah,
his stance last book. But I don't know. I saw it either as him viewing it separately, where like there's the external how we live our lives and there's an internal who we are that are like separate. But also I think he could just be like putting on a bit because he's Marco and just be saying that, because those were like his internal thoughts to himself, and this is a thing he's saying to Jake right before a mission. So like they don't have to line up necessarily.
That's true. I will say though, like when they were doing the acquisition of the shark, like that was also a mission and they were on it. And Marco had like just a different sort of character of levity. Like he wasn't as like locked in.
But that's
this
also
way.
like
so I don't,
his mom was involved in that mission, and so he was like having a lot of feelings and like now.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is, but Marco's tone does feel different. Like I think there's a bit of like sun versus moon on this Marco.
But this is like he's back to pre-last book Marco, and I was like,
Yeah, this is like
I don't know
book
that I thought he was going to just bounce back. I thought maybe he was going to like sort of shift a little, but we know he's a very performative character. So like I'm saying I don't know that it means as much as it
also
might.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if this is what I was actually distracted for part of this conversation, remembering what happens to Tobias in the next chapter, and then just like holding my head.
Oh, I'm triggered. I literally almost just gave up on the book and the next.
It's a rough book for me. I have a lot of like public restroom trauma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say though?
But it also could just be this is Jake remembering this interaction with Marco versus how Marco.
You're right. It's him projecting.
Marco is presenting his own story, and he knows where he was at that moment. Like he's and
you're right.
Versus this
You're
is
right.
how Jake views Marco. Also, do you know what? Weirdly, this could be, if we imagine that the timeline is actually correct, this could actually be Jake and Marco misremembering the same conversation almost. Like
you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's like, I
Jake's
thought
like,
it happened on this mission, and it's like, no, we talked about that on this mission, and like, that's kind of funny. Yeah, like an unintentionally
I like
unreliable narrator kind of vibe. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I'm into that. Okay. I can let go of that persnicketyness then.
Yeah.
Are we ready to launch into this scatological? Is it
Because there wasn't
scatological?
enough in
Is that
book
the word?
14.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't enough poop in Cassie's book, so Jake
Oh, they're
I'm
on
sorry,
the
I almost
same wavelength, though.
Yes.
You're right. They're made for each other.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard to not make that joke, and I accidentally handed it to you.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. No, it's my fault. It's like
Was Jake there when
remember.
Cassie pooped in Horse Morph?
Yeah, they were
think
all
so.
there when
Yeah.
Cassie pooped
Okay,
in Horse
just
Morph, weren't they?
checking.
That
And
was
it
after.
changed
That was
it
like.
changed.
Yeah, that was after the raid.
this
They knew
thing.
it was a porta potty by the time she pooped, and then you thought the book was over, but there was still 20% of the book left, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What's going on?" And they go to the fucking.
I want to make it clear to our listeners, like we are but children. Like we're grown adults who do taxes and vote, but we're also like idiots who make a podcast about the Animorphs, and we do laugh at poop. But I do have to be clear, I did not enjoy reading this
Also,
chapter
we
at all.
have to find a way
Get
of
that fly.
making content out of these books which can't stop mentioning poop.
That's true.
Okay, so
I cannot
I don't
believe.
think we can fully. There was. Oh, go ahead.
I
Miranda.
cannot believe I'm actually hunting a fly this very moment as we are recording
It's so
this.
fitting. It's so fitting. Chapter 5. Jake and Tobias share one stall in the men's bathroom to morph, while Axe and Marco use the adjacent stall. Rachel and Cassie are morphing in the women's restroom. We have no idea how many stalls they used. This isn't just any bathroom, though.
They probably had to
it's
wait.
a busy airport bathroom. Quick side note. There's this Beg for You, but Charlie XCX has a makeout scene in an airport bathroom. So I'd like to think that was happening, like in the room when they walk in. Anyway, okay, so just Charlie XCX, Beg for You, it's on Crash. This isn't just any bathroom, though. This is Charlie XCX's business airport bathroom. Mid-morph, a man knocks frantically on the door of the stall containing Jake and Tobias. He has to go bad, he says. He's gotta be bad to the bone. He's just so tired of being a goody two-shoes. There's nothing the two boys can do, however. At this point in the transformation, Jake is about the size of a tiny dog. He has fly legs, but no wings. Human eyes, but fly mouth parts. He's a fucking abomination. The impatient man. Oh my god, what a fucking asshole. I forgot he did this.
How is his
The
arm long
impatient-
enough for this?
This is literally fucked up.
is a
Like this is
nightmare.
like. Hold on, let's talk about.
Wait,
hold
can
on,
we read
let's
it
talk
first
about
and then
something.
talk about it?
All right.
Because the listener doesn't know.
You sound a lot like me a couple episodes ago when I was saying, let's get to work. How's it when the foot's on the other shoe there, Ed? There's nothing the two boys can do. At this point in the transformation, Jake's the size of a tiny dog. He has fly legs but no wings, human eyes and no mouth. He's a fucking abomination. The impatient man reaches over the stall and unlatches the stall door. He enters the stall and, of course, is horrified by what he finds. He flees, shrieking for security. He says, save me,
Shrieking
save
to
me.
make himself feel secure is
Shrieking.
one
I
way
kept
that you
shrieking at
could
them.
interpret that.
Just as the boys are about to complete their morphs, Jake reminds Tobias to be mindful of the fly's instincts. It's Tobias's first time doing this morph, after all. Jake manages to find Marco and Axe, who have also completed their morphs, but Tobias is nowhere to be found. Perhaps he's in some sort of
Bowl.
poop mausoleum. Some sort of
So we actually misjudged this.
ruin.
We are still not at the poopification of Tobias. That has not happened yet.
You did it. You did it, my guy. You got an episode title in. That is
Poopification.
it. Marco
so-
is Tobias is so good.
Here's a couple of things that I want to say. First, desperately. So I cannot draw, but if anybody could draw their little feet in the bathroom stalls, like between two like normal people using bathroom stalls, like as it's like their little, it's like little hawk feet. Jake's little basketball shoes. Marco's probably got some, like, I don't know, whatever 90s Heelys were. And then Axe's hooves under the stall door, I think would be like a super cute drawing, and I would make it a postcard. Like,
you know what though? Like, what's his name? Chris Grimes or whatever, the guy who's doing the thing. We should just keep what is
maybe
his
he'll
name?
do it. Maybe he'll do it when he gets to this.
I think he's done with the
Animorphs.
graphic novels, actually. I don't think they're doing all of them.
Oh no, really? Hold on. Are you sure?
I think they stopped.
He made it to book 6. Shit.
But we could ask him, since he did the graphic novels,
Yeah.
we could be like, hey, would you draw this?
And he'd be like, "You're canceled. No! You're done. You're done." Well, I was gonna say, like, I remember being like pretty young and reading some news article, like, I don't know, some like, do you remember, Eddie, when we were little? There were just all these like, I don't know, like sex hookup cruising articles that would get posted that would talk about things people didn't understand, like, or like I remember like something like you telling me about rainbow parties. Do you remember this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the moral
okay, we don't
panic.
have to go into the details.
I know what you're talking about.
I remember
was a
some
YA novel,
news
actually.
moral. Was it actually?
Yeah, it happened
That's
in some
crazy.
stupid book.
Oh, really? Did it actually happen in the book?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
okay, that's insane.
Or did they just talk about it in the book?
It was supposed to happen in the book, but even in the book, I don't really think it successfully happened because the kids were actually a lot more scared about sex than they actually. Like the book was actually.
the message of the book was actually really on point,
But
and
then
everybody
Tyra
did
Banks
the
took
exact
it and
wrong
ran with
thing.
it. Yeah, basically saying they
Wow.
were promoting rainbow parties because she didn't read the book.
But I just remember reading some newspaper thing, and I was too young to understand, but it was like people hooking up in airplane bathrooms and there being some whole code of etiquette of how to initiate. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like you like knock the shoe under the stall or whatever. And I'm wondering if in some like world this person reached over the latch, or like, I don't know, like just like, why would you ever reach over the latch?
They
is what I'm
somehow
looking for. I'm
accidentally
looking-
gave signals that they were like, is that what you're... Oh
I
my
just-
God,
I
a
don't
bird
know.
under the door is a sure sign that I'm good to go.
Well, there's a weird moment where Tobias says, oh, this doesn't look too weird when he and Jake enter the stall together. And
Yeah,
it's like-
he's embarrassed.
kind
There's
of feel
definitely
like there's that
some
resonance.
tension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's something weird going on there.
But I think the guy
happening.
who unlatches the door actually just really has to go to the bathroom, which is
Yeah.
not the first time that's caused problems in this book. Didn't in book 12, someone also forced their way into a bathroom when the burping of the croc was happening?
Yeah, this is like the third or fourth book in a row where they've fully gotten caught
Yes,
and just
also,
like happened to get
Yeah.
out of there in
Yeah.
time.
wait, we have to note, this is weirdly the thing that this is actually the thing I thought was happening in book 14 when they were in the horse stall. Do you remember it? I thought there were two men peeking over the
the
stall.
bathroom.
Yes,
And this
Yes,
actually
you're so
happened 2
right.
books later.
Yeah,
Called it.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
peek over.
Oh,
he,
man.
he just reaches over again with his impossibly long arms. But
dude.
That
it
or
does
it's
not
like a
make any sense.
saloon door.
You'd have to like, no, you'd have to like jump, whip your arm down, and get lucky. Like you'd have to.
I
Like,
feel like
it
he'd be
wouldn't
more
work.
likely to like stick his head underneath to reach up and then see them. And then like, I would have written it this way. He knocks himself out trying to get back out of the stall. That's what I would have written.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess like it is true that like that stuff. I don't know. Like like I went to a baseball game and like the men's bathrooms at the baseball game were like abhorrently public. So maybe there are like, and those were built.
You're talking about, like,
probably in the
troughs?
early 2000s. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was a trough.
I don't
or
know how
whatever.
you do
It was
that.
Awful. I can't. I actually went in, stood there, pretended to pee, could not pee, left, came back later, tried again. That was what I did.
Yeah.
And I've never had,
That was like me
it
the first time I
worst
used a
thing ever.
squat toilet in Japan. I squatted, my body went, no.
This isn't how we are when we do this. It's just something about how much is going on. It's like I need someone to sing a song or something. And I pitched that to the room. I said, "Could you guys sing the national
Maybe
anthem
that's
or
why when
something?"
Japan made like Western style toilets, they made them play songs.
Yeah,
Just
and
to
they played "Oh
comfort you.
Canada." Yeah.
If they had that kind of toilet in a work bathroom, because what I found happens in a work bathroom where you kind of know everyone is that other people will just start making conversation with you while you're peeing, and we're like, we're coworkers. We are not supposed to be.
Friends.
We're not pee
We're not
friends.
piss
I
friends.
don't have pee friends.
I think I only have one or two. I think I have one or two people who always think it's funny to talk to me while I'm peeing. And it's exactly
I'm
two
very
people.
sorry that I know you're not counting me because I don't do it to you, but I do it to my partner all the time.
Yes.
I like, tease
I
him.
do. Yeah.
He like shuts the door and I'm like, really? We've been together this long,
You got a
and
piss
you won't,
friend?
and
No,
you won't. And he's like, I can't. If you're watching, I can't. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I thought I wasn't people to you. You know what I mean? I thought we were.
Yeah.
I thought we were Andalites to one another.
I do feel very comfortable talking to just about anyone when they're pooping and I'm not. Like if the bathroom
Absolutely
store,
not.
I'm like,
You're a
diabolical.
monster.
You are diabolical.
Monster. Anyway, there's like a guy screams about seeing them. My last note is that I did a little bit of quick napkin math, and he says that there are Statue of Liberty-sized humans, and feel free to correct me, but based on the numbers I found for the height of the Statue of Liberty from its base to like the torch, and using 1/4 of an inch for a fly, which is what the internet told me, which seems a little small, but a human is... So the Statue of Liberty is roughly 45 times bigger than a human, and a human is almost 270 times larger than a fly on average.
Okay, so it should have seemed even bigger.
Way bigger.
Yeah.
Way, like 4 times bigger.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
That's
I can't do math.
crazy.
Some number of times bigger, like 7.
We're back around to Eddy for chapter 6.
I think it's a good thing I'm doing this one too. I think this will be a quick one. Chapter 6, turns out that Fly Tobias is in a toilet bowl, and someone has just sat down on that toilet about to take a shit. Jake tells Tobias to crawl through the space between the toilet seat and the porcelain. There should be some light shining through. Yeah, Marco jokes, go towards the light. Tobias escapes, and yet, because they are using a dirty diaper to find their way, they still have to fly towards shit. That's the chapter.
That's the whole thing.
That really is it. It's, I don't have any notes. Except one note. Axe doesn't understand humans' defecation.
Yeah, I'm really confused. Like, this makes me even more confused about the Andalite toilet.
Yeah.
How do they excrete their waste? Is it just some sort of like biohazardous shower bag? I don't know, dude.
Well, no, and if they do it through sweat,
Doo-doo.
'cause, like that means they're just covered in doo-doo all the time, and then the toilet would probably look like a little like vacuum where they just vacuum them off.
Oh my god, I want to get a pet vacuum so bad.
Yeah, what?
I really.
Eddie's like, this is the first time Eddie's thought about this. Because they said there were like levers and shit. And I'm like, what were the levers for?
Yeah.
I thought briefly that they were describing the gap in the seat in public toilet seats, not the space between the bowl and the seat. So that's much better than trying to come out through. Because I'm like, if the guy's too big, could you
Under
get
the
out
balls.
through his... Oh, no, I didn't even think of that. I was just thinking of his thighs.
Wait, can we?
Lots of stuff's right there.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next chapter?
This is probably our record for shortest episode,
Well, wait,
for shortest chapter
yeah.
ever.
I do want to talk about, Chris, you had this, I think, and Miranda, you also had it, actually. I'm the only one who didn't have this, to reassert your individual consciousness.
I just like it as a line.
Yeah.
I just
Axe
really
tells
like it.
Axe tells Tobias.
I feel like I say it to myself when I'm getting overwhelmed by anxiety. I'm like, Miranda, reassert your individual consciousness. Use your active brain.
Yeah, it's It's a rough chapter. I struggled. I literally did not want to read it. It was pretty gross. The idea of being a fly in a toilet while someone else is taking a shit was a lot to
Also,
imagine.
it's like Tobias is like what I noticed is like the whole thing of him. There's like a grown man's butt just over. Like it's just like I just actually feel really bad for Tobias. Like it kind of feels like
he can't really see it
awful.
though, so it's okay. But it does feel a little like it's a little on par with something that Marco finds out later in this book when it comes to our young Animorphs getting a little closer to grown men than we feel comfortable with.
yeah.
Chapter 7, we're back to Miranda.
All right. The gang manages to make it onto the airplane just 15 minutes into their morph. That means that once the 90-minute flight ends, they'll have 15 minutes to exit the plane and demorph. Everything is going according to plan. The plane takes off, a meal is served. Marco can't resist flying down to one passenger's leftovers for a bite to eat. And then the passengers start noticing all of the flies on the plane. They complain to the attendants. Only 10 minutes are left on the flight. The gang flies to the back of the plane, hoping to lose the attention of the staff. But it's no use. Someone tries to swat Jake, and he dodges it. Phew! Jake takes a moment to ask if everyone is okay. Just then, another hand swats at him. He dodges that one as well, but this time, it's a trick. He flies into a second hand that was waiting for him, and it sweeps him toward the wall. Jake tries to flee, but his one wing is damaged. There's nothing Jake can do but wait for the hand to smoosh him into Jake pulp. And that is exactly what it does.
So what I want to know is does Pope Jake's policies differ from Pope Francis in any way?
Jake Pulp.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you.
I thought I enunciated pretty clearly.
Jake Pope. It smushes him into Jake Pope.
Did I not? I tried to say all my letters. I'm
No,
sorry,
I thought
Mama.
you said it just fine. I think Chris just likes the idea of Jake Pope.
I think that's true.
Jake would
Jake.
be the one to become Pope.
What's your Christian name? Pope Jake.
Pope Jake.
That was when I was watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know why. It was on TV, and I was at mom and dad's. And the thing was like, select your language, and it was like, give us your name, last name, then Christian. And I was like, they really thought this far into the future we were still going to be saying Christian name. Like, that was a bold choice.
I remember that scene because he's dialing to call his daughter or whatever from the space.
It's right at the
That's when
beginning.
they're seeing the monolith on the moon.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning. Yeah, no, Jake gets smooshed. Marco just had to go for this Salisbury steak. You know it wasn't even good.
What is a Salisbury
maybe
steak?
to a fly it was. I think Salisbury is a sauce, isn't it?
Dun, dun, dun,
And they serve it
running
like
up on Salisbury
I think they like
Dun,
serve
dun,
it-
dun. I could see the city.
it's like a
lights.
cheap cut, pounded thin, and served.
My heart was going steak, steak, steak.
What is considered a Salisbury steak? It's made from ground beef, so it's closer to like a meatloaf.
It's a
Oh my
meatloaf
god,
steak.
Salisbury steak. So this is The Modern Proper. That's apparently a website. I'm not trying to plug them. I thought it said The Modern Popper. I thought it was saying Salisbury steaks were poppers. I don't know how they were going to make that happen, but Salisbury steak poppers, I think we could get it, guys. I think we could get this
I
out.
have too many projects, but we will have to put
We
that.
have too many projects. We
first.
might have to let that one go.
I don't know if tummy aches.
Okay.
Jump in the queue.
All right, we're going to put the
Oh, okay.
podcast on
I was going to
hold.
say I don't know if tummy aches and poppers go hand in hand very well, but that's a different issue.
Tummy aches and poppers sounds like a memoir title.
Only for Jake and Cassie.
Tummy aches and poppers. It's like I keep going to nightclubs, but I have to go home early because
Oh
my
my
tummy
god!
hurts.
Oh my god! Wait, the prince and the popper. Can we do something?
Oh
with that?
my
That's definitely a gay
God.
club.
Oh,
That's
I
gotta have
know,
happened,
the prince and the
right?
poppers.
Yeah.
and it's
It's like
twink
a
club,
business
and it's-
mogul's oldest son trades place with a club kid for.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know what, Alan? I mean, it's very obvious, but what Alan Cummings?
Alan who?
Alan Cummings. Have you seen
good?
it? He makes that joke in the outs. There's like a mini series where he says he keeps pronouncing his last name like Kaminga, and he keeps correcting people.
Oh, that's fun.
He has a gay club, and it's called Club Coming.
Coming tonight. Oh.
Nice.
Coming tonight, I believe, is a real mineral.
He could have gone with
Coming
that.
Tonight is actually a slightly better name.
That's
I
his
think.
talk show. Actually, incredible talk show name that he needs to do late night.
Yeah, he really does. He
yeah,
also
Coming
had
Tonight
hair products
is a
and
real mineral.
face products.
Is a real what?
Coming Tonight is a real mineral?
Yeah, Coming Tonight is a metamorphic amphibole with the chemical composition
Coming Tonight. Coming Tonight. Oh my God, I can see it.
magnesium iron silicate hydroxide. Yeah, no, it made a big splash in geology Tumblr. People would like
named
put
after the
people
town
would, like,
of
put
Cummington.
Yeah. People would like put the formula and be like, "Are you blah 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 blah?" No, why? Because I'll make sure you're coming tonight.
I think like he also had hair products and face products that were coming in your hair. I shit you not, and coming on your face.
Good
It was like
for him.
yeah, he like did do that, and it's a real thing he did.
He's having fun.
Oh man,
He's the best.
yeah,
He's the best.
Jake's
He's the
dead
best.
at the end of this.
He's my Mac the Knife.
Jake,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. Jake's
Well-
dead, everybody.
Jake's dead.
He's dead,
It's over.
and yet I want to talk a little bit about Marco
Jake
and
is
Rachel's cute little interaction here, where they talk about Xena.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're
yeah,
flirting
yeah.
in front of Tobias.
I think they are flirting in front of Tobias.
I think they have better
genuinely they
I
have
don't know.
something. They have, you know what? They have that kind of chemistry where they will never, but they have it.
But
Like,
if they did, it would be crazy, but it wouldn't
It would be
last.
crazy. It would not last.
They're
Yeah,
like, to
yeah.
me, it's giving two fire signs.
Yes.
Yes.
Which,
Yes.
funnily enough, is actually the relationship that I'm in, and this is a lot what we're like together. So it's giving
Yeah.
two fire signs.
It could work. It could work, but it would require something.
It would require
something.
intense, deep, no sarcasm communication be something that they are not only willing but required to have on a regular basis
Marco's a
just to
fire
check
sign,
in.
though?
I don't know if it tracks, but
Like Marco gives air to me.
I agree.
I don't know that much about
All right,
astrology.
that works. But whatever it is, the fire.
You're just
the
saying
fire
that
is
because
there,
you're
the
an
kindling is
Aquarius
there.
and you want Marco to be an Aquarius.
He's not a water sign, as much as I wish he was.
Chris has no defense.
It's true.
Chris is just like, I
also
identify
agree
with Marco, so I think he should be an Aquarius.
I don't identify with Marco. I identify with Marco. But what I will say is that I think Eddie's right. He's not a water sign. He's definitely not grounded. He's got no earth energy. And then
If he's a
fire
water sign, he's a
signs,
Cancer.
He could be, but he would be so much. Oh, he could be. Okay. He
I
could
think
be.
Cassie's Earth.
That feels right. But maybe
he's got
water.
so
Tobias is water.
He's got so much like everything revolves around me energy.
Rachel's a
that, like,
definite fire sign. Like I think we can
Yes.
Yes.
be pretty.
Yeah.
She
Jake?
gives Leo energy for sure.
What did they say on our Animorphs when I asked that question?
They didn't really like it.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it got lost in the emojis.
Shut up! You
Remember
love
what
my
Chris was like?
emojis.
I
Shut
think I'm
up.
going to be relatable
Shut
and
up.
use
So-
lots of emojis.
Shut up! Well, you guys.
I think that's it.
Now that Jake's
Call.
dead, I feel like we don't like. Should we finish the book? We should probably finish the book. right?
He might come
But it's
back.
gonna
Going on me too.
It's gonna be. I bet you it's gonna be like a situation where once he's really dead, like we'll get a new narrator, and it'll be like Tom, and Tom's gonna come in.
See, I was
and
gonna say
Tom's
just
gonna
to
be
piss
like,
off-
I just ate all this Dairy Queen, and I'm feeling so sick.
Are you okay?
What if that ejected the Yeerk?
Yeah. What if
Fun
they
fact:
injected
a
the Yeerk into
colonoscopy
Jake?
will get a Yeerk out of your head.
What?
Yeah, they
Really?
can't Yeerk anyone over 50 because they're at risk of getting... No,
I don't get this joke.
I'm just joking about colonoscopy prep removing all fluids from your body.
Okay. All chondrona from your body. You're not allowed to absorb any chondrona for 24
So it's like,
hours.
yeah, we
before.
can't Yeerk anyone over 50, or there's a chance they might need to schedule a colonoscopy. It'll just be violently ejected.
Thanks for listening to Anidorks. We'll be back soon with lots more to say. Until the Andalites return, or at least until next time. See you soon.